everyone, welcome back to yet another episode of Literally My Life, the podcast. It feels so good to be back. I haven't seen you guys since Christmas. We're halfway through January and we have so many updates. So today's episode is going to be great. It's a little life update and I'm going to tell you everything that I'm bringing into the new year and everything that I'm letting go of. But before we get into today's episode, make sure to follow Literally My Life's Instagram. Link is in the episode description below, along with our TikTok, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and subscribe to our blog. Come on, guys. It's like a written edition of this. This is really fun, okay? So once you do all those things, check back in with me and let's get into today's episode. Welcome back to Literally My Life, My Guide to Girlhood, the podcast where growing up is messy, glowing up is spiritual, and no one's got it figured out, but we're showing up anyway. I'm your host, Alexandra Almeen, Chicago Barbie, Boulder bound, soft but not to be played with, and this season, we're healing in private, glowing in public, and becoming women we actually like. Let's get into it. So, I have so many updates since coming back home. So I spent my entire winter break in Chicago. It was absolutely amazing. I got to kind of deplug and recharge and just have a little fun being by myself. But once I got back to Boulder, it was back on the grind. I knew I had to come and talk to you guys again and get back to posting and just doing all the Chicago Barbie duties. But I have to say it felt really good to deplug, and I definitely want to do that more. And I also want to talk about some of my New Year's resolutions. So this was the first New Year that I didn't make a big vision board or make all these lists of things that I want to accomplish and all that stuff. I didn't do any of that. I kind of think New Year's resolutions are stupid. Is that a crazy take? I kind of do, because I just believe that if you want to change something, you don't have to wait till December 31st to change it. You should want to change it ASAP. A pastor said that to me at my New Year's service a couple of years ago, and I was like, well, what does that even mean? But I, now looking back on it, really agree with him. So there are a few things that I want to change this semester, and I want to share that with you guys. And I just kind of categorized them in different ways. Mentally, I want to change the way that I talk to myself. Sometimes I have some really negative self-thoughts. I'm being honest and vulnerable with you guys. It's just something that happens. Sometimes we talk to ourselves a little crazy. Sometimes we say meaner things to ourselves, and I know that I've struggled with that in the past before. It's gotten a lot better over the years, but it's something that still kind of weighs on me. I definitely want to work on that, and I also want to work on giving myself grace. I'm not the best at being the most compassionate with myself, which is crazy because I'm really forgiving and compassionate with other people, but when it comes to myself, I'm just not that good at it. But that's something I really want to change this year. I want to be more gracious with myself and just do better with that. Career-wise, since I want to open some stuff up with you guys, I really want to get back into sports interviewing and just get back into football and sports. It was a really hard transition. Hopefully I'll be able to actually be more open about that and talk about that, but I don't know if I will until spring practice. I don't know yet. But I really want to get back into sports and stuff. I have missed it so much. This football season was the first football season in a while that I've watched it from the sidelines. I definitely miss doing the equipment, being the water girl, being the media girl, doing all the interviewing, wearing my press pass everywhere. Guys, at home, I should do a room tour when I go back home. I have literal press passes from every event that I've covered, all the way from my first high school game to the DNC. I have them in my room. I have to show you guys. I have press passes from literally everything. So that's also very exciting. Physically, I want this to be the year that I kind of lock in and work on my body. I've been saying that every year since 2020, but I think this is the year that I'm going to do it. Now, have I gone to the gym yet? No. But listen, hear me out. I want to do it. This is the year, I don't know if you guys know Tatum, but Tatum is one of my really good girlfriends. She's also another Boulder influencer, and a lot of her content is gym content, and I think she's just so cool. She has an amazing body, and she's really inspired me to be on my fitness journey this year, so look out for Fitness Journey Barbie, because it is definitely coming up. And then I also want to do better academically. I finished all of my classes last semester with B's, but I could have gotten A's. It's Boulder. It's not that hard academically, so I could have gotten better. I was just pretty lazy, I'm not gonna lie, and I really have been praying to break the spirit of laziness and just replace that with determination and hard work throughout the semester. I also want to get a lot closer with God this year. I feel sometimes, and I'm going to be honest with you guys, I feel sometimes I just pray in the morning and then I just forget about everything that I prayed about or everything that I talked about God with, and I just forget it throughout my day. So I want to check in with God throughout my days and like pray more and like practice what I preach more. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm a Christian on paper right now, like a lukewarm kind of Christian, and I want to be like, I want the Spirit to live in me. You know, I want people to feel the love of like the Lord when they talk to me. I don't want people to feel like hurt or rejected. And sometimes, I'm going to be honest, like I have a foul mouth. It's just how I am. And sometimes that can come out and I can hurt people's feelings. And I don't want that. I'm not a mean person. I don't get any joy or like happiness out of making people feel bad about themselves. So I want to correct those behaviors. I want to be quick to think and slow to speak. That's actually in the Bible. That's my biggest prayer. Okay, so let me tell you guys everything that's happened for me this year, because it's been a pretty crazy year already, and we're only, 19 days in? Okay. Well, biggest update, guys. If you've been following my TikTok, if you haven't, you should go follow it. I have been talking about how I've been estranged with my sister. Well, we sat down yesterday and we had lunch and we completely made up. And that's amazing because we were almost estranged for almost a year. And the reason that I reached out to her New Year's Day, and I just basically sent her a text and was like, hey, sis, like, you know, I think we should sit down and just finally have this conversation and talk things out. I think we've been mad at each other for so long and we don't talk to each other. We're just holding this grudge. And that's not fair to our family. You know, we have other sisters. And so me and my sister being mad at each other puts our other sisters in the middle. Also, I love my sister. You know what I mean? Like yesterday I had the opportunity to see her husband, to see her kids, and to be at her house. And that's something that I haven't done in so long. And I wish you guys could have like seen the like endorphin rush that I felt when I was like literally in her house around her kids, like in the surroundings that I was familiar with. When I was a kid and we would take trips to Colorado, I always stayed at her house. So her house is like a sense of like comfort for me. I have so many great memories there. So to be able to be back there yesterday was like so emotional and great for me. We went to Applebee's, me, and my other sister, because our other sister was like playing, what's it called, like the peacemaker. She was like mediator just in case things went a little crazy. But it didn't, guys. That's what I wanted to tell you guys like the most. We were very restorative. I think time heals all wounds for real. Like for real. Because if we had this conversation 6 months ago, we probably would have pulled each other's hair out. But time heals all wounds. It was such a restorative conversation. I could tell there was no anger on either side, and I could tell that we both had the intention of making up. You know, my sisters have lived in Colorado my entire life, and I've always wanted to, like, be able to be close with them and celebrate holidays and birthdays and stuff with them, and it breaks my heart that I moved to Colorado and we were mad at each other and we missed out. You know, it's only been a couple of months, but we missed out on time where we could have been loving on each other. So that makes me sad. But I'm happy that we made up. I'm happy that God brought us back together, and I'm happy that peace was made. I don't know why I'm getting emotional talking about this. Like, I've talked about this with my friends on the phone and my mom, and I didn't get emotional. But I guess I'm being the most vulnerable with you guys. I missed my sister. I really did. You know, I think anger is a front for fear. Anger is a secondary emotion, and fear is the first one. And I guess I was just angry because I had this fear of losing my sister and losing my family. And that turned into pride, and I didn't want to be the first one to, you know, break the silence, and it was just stupid. It was really stupid. And I'm glad that I let my ego down. I'm glad that I let go of my pride, and I'm glad that I was able to apologize and that she was able to apologize to me and that we were able to move on. And now that we were able to move on, I will tell you guys what we actually fought over, because I've been keeping this off of social media. We fought over the spring game. I came to Colorado almost a year ago, for my dad's surprise birthday party. And the day of, I decided to go to the spring game here at Boulder, because that's when I was deciding whether or not I should go here or not. Thank God I did go, because that's what made me choose Boulder. But she didn't want me to go. I went anyway, and then we got into this big fight about it, and we fought like continuously for a couple of months, and then we just ended up blocking each other. That's what the fight was about, the spring game. Isn't that funny? Maybe this year for the spring game, she'll buy a ticket, and that'll show like a full circle moment. But it makes me happy. It makes me happy to be in a good place with my family. So make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel because there will be lots of family vlogs because I have a huge family here in Colorado. I have a lot of sisters. They have a lot of kids. We have a lot of cousins. Oh my God. So there will be a lot of family vlogs coming of us like going to the cabins, like the mountain cabins for a weekend or just going on hikes together, and a lot of sister content coming soon. So that makes me really happy. And then I can't share everything yet, but I also have a lot of like stuff that I'm planning for the Chicago Barbie stuff this year. So make sure to stay tuned for that. I definitely want you guys to stay updated on our socials. I'm not trying to promote ourselves. Like I really am not trying to like promote, but I just want you guys to stay in tune because there are like really exciting things coming up, I promise. And last thing I wanted to talk to you guys about was obviously my relationship with God. You know, I was feeling a lot of anxiety before the new year or like the first week of the new year. I don't know why, but I just felt really anxious about it because I couldn't see what was ahead. You know what I mean? I was nervous about everything that was coming ahead and I didn't really know a clear plan for myself. I'm going to be honest with you guys. It's been really hard for me to accept the move to Boulder. It's been hard because of like the lack of diversity here and it can be isolating, and I just miss being at home sometimes. I miss being around what I know. It's hard, but I do love Colorado. I do love Boulder. I think it's an amazing place. I think it's a fine institution, but I just miss what I know sometimes, you know? But I was really anxious because of that. I was anxious about coming back here. I was anxious about second semester, and I was anxious about the new year because I didn't know what was ahead. As I've been praying and surrendering more in prayer, I've become more comfortable with the unknown. I have a better picture through prayer what the year will look like, but I also have surrendered my will to God's will. And that has literally helped me so much with the new year ahead because I have anxiety. We all have talked about this before. I definitely feel anxious a lot at times. And there were times like I literally just didn't want to sleep at night, or I was depressed thinking about the future, and I was really, really scared about what was ahead. But I surrendered that fear to God. And God has shown me that just by making up with my sister yesterday, that this is going to be a good year ahead because I have him in my corner. And if God is for you, then who can be against you, right? So I'm really excited for this year. I did a Thirsty Thursday vlog on YouTube. You guys should go check that out. I'm excited to go out with my friends. I'm excited to make new friends. That's a resolution of mine. I want to be more accepting and more friendly. The Bible verses that I've been reading the past 2 days have been about unity and, you know, being a community and coming together because we all have one thing in common, and it's that God created us in his image and that we're all God's children. So I want to be more friendly. I've been really struggling with that. I haven't been the best with that, but I want to make more friends this semester. I want to try new things like hiking and skiing and snowboarding and all that crazy cool stuff that you can only do here in Colorado, and just make the best of my second semester. And I pray the best for you guys as well, whether you're in college, whether you're in high school still, whether you're in Colorado, Chicago, or anywhere in between. I pray that you have a beautiful new year and that there's nothing to be anxious about. You don't have to be anxious about anything. Instead, pray about everything. I'm quoting scripture on you guys. And that's what I'm learning to do this year. That's my first resolution. What's you guys' first resolution? Let me know in the Spotify comments or YouTube comments, or just let me know. I really want to know, okay? I love you guys so much. Thanks for tuning in to this shorter but funner episode of Literally My Life, My Guide to Girlhood, and I will see you guys next week on My Guide to Girlhood Monday. Alright guys, that's it for this week's episode of Literally My Life, My Guide to Girlhood. If today's chaos, clarity, or confessions hit home, don't keep it to yourself. Rate the show, send it to your favorite group chat, and follow for more real girl talk. New episodes every Monday. And remember, the glow up is internal and the soft life is earned. I'll see you next time. Barbie out.